Welcome to the Anything Goes Renegade podcast. I'm your host, Demetrius Smith. And in today's episodes, we're going to get on the rabbit hole just a little bit, the conspiracy side of things. We are going to be talking about the Deep State and the Cabal. But they really ain't that much information on the Cabal as I would have hoped, because they are vaguely well known. No one knows who's part of the Cabal. I highly doubt anyone will ever know. But I could say, doing my research and this stuff, instead of me explaining it, I want you guys to, listen to me talk about Deep State and the Cabal, okay? And then I want you guys to go out and do your own research, okay? I believe that's fair enough, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It took me a while to get this load up today. I was scared I wasn't going to get it load up in time because I always said Sunday, which I had so much stuff going on. I got caught up in the rabbit hole. I got distracted and not even focusing on my podcast like I should have. And it goes to show you that these informations, these rabbit holes, really don't serve people. I feel like it is a distraction, but that's just me. I'm the type of person who can't focus on multiple things at once. But, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I need you guys to listen to it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? Are you passionate about a favorite subject matter or a message that you want everyone to listen to, but you don't have any of the equipment or have no idea where to begin? Well, look no further than Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Do not worry about any extra equipment, guys, because Anchor's creation tools allows you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. To get started, download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm. That's ANCHOR.FM. Again, to get started, download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm. That is ANCHOR.FM. The Deep State is a conspiracy theory which suggests that collusion and cronyism exists within the United States political system and constitute a hidden government within the legitimately elected government. Author Mike Lofgren believes that there is a hybrid association of elements of government and parts of top-level finance and industry that is effectively able to govern the United States without reference to the consent of the governed as expressed due to a formal political process, or consider the Deep State to encompass corruption prevalent among career politicians and civil servants. The term was originally coined to refer a relative invisible state apparatus in Turkey composed of high-level elements within the intelligence service, military and security, and judiciary, and organized crime and similar alleged networks in other countries, including Egypt, Ukraine, Spain, Colombia, Italy, Israel, and many others. According to the journalist Robert Worth, the expression Deep State held originated in Turkey in the 1990s, where the military concluded with drug traffickers and hitmen to wage a dirty war against Kurdish insurgents. The term deep state is likely a translation from the Turkish Diren Devlet. Literally, deep state equals deep polito. In The Concealment of the State, Professor Jason Ross Lindsay argues that even without a conspiratorial agenda, the term deep state is useful for understanding aspects of the national security establishment in developed countries with emphasis on the United States. Lindsay writes that the deep state draws power from the national security and intelligence communities, a realm where secrecy is a source of power. Alfred W. McCoy states that the increase in the power of the United States intelligence community since the September 11 attacks has built a fourth branch of the United States government that is, in many ways, anomalous from the executive, and increasingly so. In a Foreign Affairs Journal article and subsequently expansion in the Law Review, UCLA professor John D. Michaels rejects the premises of an American deep state in a defense of what he terms the administrative state against Trump's attempt to deconstruct it. Michael argues that the concept of the deep state is more relevant to developed governments such as Egypt, Pakistan, and Turkey, where shadow elites in the military and government ministries have been known to countermand or simply defy democratic directives than the United States, where governmental power structures are almost entirely transparent. Not so much. In May 2017, former Democratic U.S. Representative Dennis Curtis stated in an interview on Fox News that a deep state within the bureaucracy is trying to destroy Trump's presidency. He further elaborated that the political process of the United States of America is under attack by intelligence agency and individuals in those agencies. You have politicalization of agency that is resulting in leaks from anonymous unknown people, and the intention is to take down a president. Now this is very dangerous to America. It is a threat to our republic. It constitutes a clear and presented danger to our way of life. So we have to be asking, what is the motive of these people? Who's putting these leaks out? Why doesn't somebody come forward and make a charge and put their name and reputation behind it, instead of attacking through the media and not sustaining their position? In an interview several months earlier, Kushner said, what's at the core of this is an effort by some in the intelligence community to upend any positive relationship the U.S. and Russia. There are people trying to separate the U.S. and Russia so the military industry, Intel, X can cash in. According to David Gregory, quoted in Time magazine, the term has been appropriated by Steve Bannon and Breitbart News and other supporters of the Trump administration in order to delegitimize the critics of the current presidency. The deep state theory has been dismissed by authors of the New York Times and New York Observer. University of Miami Professor Joseph, I cannot pronounce that last name. We're going to say Professor Joseph Yu says the concept has always been very popular among conspiracy theories, whether they call it deep state or something else. Former NASA leaker Edward Snowden has used the term generally to refer to the influence of civil servants over elected officials. The deep state is not just an intelligence agency, it is really a way of referring to the career bureaucracy of government. These are officials who sit in powerful positions, who don't leave when presidents do, who watch presidents come and go. They influence policy, they influence presidents. An opinion piece by linguist Jeffrey Nunberg, he said the deep state is an elastic label. Depending on the occasion, and this story confirms to the to confirm to the I hope I pronounced this word correctly, intricate grammar of those conspiracy narratives. He also constructed the change in the twin buoyancy of conservative rhetoric, from bureaucrat, medicine bunglers of big government to convincing ideology who orchestrate complex schemes. According to political scientist George Friedman, the deep state has been in place since 1871 and countless beneath the federal government controlling and frequently reshaping policy. In this view, the U.S. Civil Service was created to limit the power of the president. Prior to 1871, the president could select federal employees, all of whom serve at the pleasure of the president. That is no longer the case. In March 20, 2018, Senator Rand Paul said absolutely there is a deep state because the deep state is the intelligence community. They do not have oversight. He continued, there is no skeptic, emphasizing the original, among the 4 Republican, 4 Democrat senators who are supposedly providing oversight so that the intelligent communities with their enormous power have become a deep state. On December the 4th, 2018, Paul, in commenting on the CIA director, briefly only those 8 senators rather than the entire Senate, he added, do you want to know what the deep state is? The CIA director is coming to the United States Senate and only briefing a select few members of the Senate. Why shouldn't every senator know what is going on? The deep state wants to keep everyone in the dark. This is just ridiculous. On December 10th, 2018, he said the very definition of a deep state is when the very people, congressional leaders, people who are elected by the people, are not allowed to hear the intelligence. Written in a piece for the Moyers and Company website, John Light asserts that the term deep state has been used for decades abroad to describe any network of entrenched government officials whose function independently from elected politicians and work toward their own ends. But during the era of Trump, the part of the liberal establishment that crowd resisted to reality TV star insurgents candidacy all alone. In February 2020, Trump cabinet member and acting White House chief of staff Mick Mulvaney, when asked if a deep state working against President Trump exists, stated that it was absolutely 100% true. Michael Crowley, senior foreign affairs correspondent for Politico, wrote, beneath the politics of convenience in the reality that a large segment of the United States government really does operate without much transparency or public scrutiny and has abused its awesome powers in myriad of ways. The term deep state has been associated with the military industry complex by Mike Loven, who has identified this complex as a private part of the deep state. However, Mark Ambita has suggested that a myth about the deep state is that it functions as one entity. In reality, he states, the deep state contains multitudes and that they are often at odds with one another. Tufts University professor Michael J. Gleon claimed that President Barack Obama did not succeed in resisting and or changing what he calls the double government. The Defense and National Security Network, Mike Lofgutman, felt Obama was pushing to the Afghanistan surge in 2009. Another major campaign promise Obama made was the closure of Guantanamo Bay prison camp, which he was unable to accomplish. This has been attributed indirectly to the influence of a deep state. President Donald Trump's supporters use the term to refer to allegations that intelligence officers and executive branch officials guide policy through leaking or other internal means. According to a July 2007 report by the United States Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs, the Trump administration what's being hidden